Perfect.
Well, I guess it's time to wrap up the whole detailing series on the 4runner here. So I thought I'd come here and get some kind of picturesque shots. Sort of walk you through everything that we went throughout the whole series and all the videos. And give you a quick rundown, just a refresher on the products and the techniques that we used on this thing. Now, keep in mind, guys, I know a lot of people out there are going to say, well, what's the point in doing all this? It's just going to get dirty again anyways. Well, here's the reality. I've been working on this over the last few weeks whenever I have time here and there. And so during that time, this 4runner has been washed, I'm going to say 3, maybe 4 times. This is not freshly polished or anything. This is not like a fresh after shot. I just pulled it out of the garage and this is what it looks like. This has already been living the real world again for about a month. And it's been daily driven like normal. It's been sitting outside every night like normal. And it's actually even been in a couple of winter storms. So this is a testament to, just because you put all that work into it, doesn't mean that as soon as it gets dirty, it's all going to be lost. If you've polished it properly and you've protected it properly, then it's easy to clean up and it keeps looking that way every time you wash it. So we're still reaping the benefits of a freshly polished look here, even after 3 or 4 washes. So the first thing we did, we started off with the oil spraying, just to protect the undercarriage as best as we can. And you can see now that some time has gone by, this is the matte finish I was telling you about. And it just looks a little bit more normal. The kind of wet, shiny look goes away after a while. Now it's just more of an OEM finish. Then of course we took the wheels off. I had to rotate the tires anyway, so I took them off and gave them a really good cleaning. And I re-ceramic coated them with G-Technic C5, which is what I had on there before. And that's really responsible for keeping these wheels looking as nice as they still do. These wheels are about 3 years old at least now. They've been through 3 Canadian winters. And as you can see, the lug nuts are kind of hurting, but all the stainless hardware and everything on them, they're holding up really well. And still has that nice, perfect satin finish. You don't have to worry about if it's going to get too shiny when you use a ceramic coating on them. This is the finish that they have. Maybe a little bit of extra sheen over the original look, but you never notice it. The difference is now these are really, really easy to keep clean, really easy to wash. Things don't stick to them as much, brake dust doesn't build up. Much easier to manage. Then we came in and gave the engine bay a much needed cleaning because it hadn't been dealt with for quite some time. Well, I had to leave that cool looking location because some Paul Blart wannabe decided to come and kick me out trying to act tough, and apparently you have to pay money to take pictures of your vehicle in their parking lot. Whatever, tough guy. So where were we before we got rudely interrupted? Oh yeah, so I just went through and cleaned up the engine bay just to tidy it up a little bit. Again, this thing has got some miles on it and it's driven up here in Canada, so you can see there's still some corrosion on some bolts and stuff. It's far from a show vehicle, but as soon as you come back here, it looks pretty good. Then I just dressed it with a water-based dressing. I think I used Poor Boys Bold and Bright, the stuff that I use on my tires. Nothing fancy there. And I also coated this with G-Technic C4, just because it's easier to clean up after. You can see the coilovers are nice and clean again. That part of the coilover I actually ceramic coated with G-Technic C5, same as the wheels the first time I did everything. And it's still holding up decently, it makes it easier to clean up. Then it was on to the paint correction, and unfortunately can't really get the sunshine to come out for us today. But luckily I think I already showed you guys with the inspection light directly on the paint before while I was working on it in the garage. There's definitely no swirl marks or ugliness going on in this thing anymore. But overall it's looking really good. I ended up doing a really quick 2-step paint correction on this thing. So I compounded it with Meguiar's M100 and a microfiber cutting pad, of course, and then polished it with M205 and a foam finishing pad. Again, it was a super quick job, and there wasn't a whole lot to get out of this paint job in the first place, but I wanted to make sure that it was looking proper before I redid the ceramic coatings. Which brings us to the next topic. So once it was all polished up, I ceramic coated it with G-Technic Crystal Serum Light, and then topped it with a layer of G-Technic EXO version 4. And those are both consumer grade ceramic coatings that anybody has access to. You don't have to be a professional or anything. Crystal Serum Ultra is going to be their professional only coating, and that one's just rated for basically just a longer lifespan than this one. But I got easily over 2.5 years the first round with this, and I didn't treat it well at all. I absolutely torture tested it, and it still held up pretty well. EXO, not quite so much. But now going forward, now I know what it can handle and what it can't. I have no doubts that I'm going to be able to get at least 3 years out of these coatings this time around, if not more. I'm planning on topping it with Bead Maker every once in a while, every few washes, just to keep it healthy. So we might even be able to see 5 years. Crystal Serum Ultra, I believe it's rated for, I think, 7 or 9 years. But it's all relative. I mean, just because a coating lasted one person a certain amount of time doesn't mean it's going to do the same for you. It really comes down to how you treat them. These consumer grade coatings, I think if you treat them well, and you take care of your vehicle and wash it properly and use like a topper, kind of like Bead Maker or something, you can really push the limits on what they're capable of. And I don't feel the need for a professional grade coating myself. Then as for the interior, it just needed a quick little kind of a wipe down, get rid of the dust, clean up the leather and everything. And just so I was able to redo all the protective coatings on here. Once again, the coatings were from G-Technic. I'm not sponsored by them, and I have no affiliation with them whatsoever. That's just my product line of choice. So we did C6 matte dash on the vinyls and plastics, and then L1 leather guard on the leather, and also the carpet got I think it's I1 Smart Fabric. It's just their fabric guard. Once again, dumb names, but great working products, so I let it slide. Not a whole lot to see in here though. It's just clean and well protected, so it's easy to clean up in the future. Then, now out here in the daylight, you can see these black plastic trim pieces are no longer rainbow colored like they were. And what I did was I polished those by hand with Meguiar's D300 compound, because I tried every cleaner under the sun, and whatever somebody had sprayed on there before I bought this thing, it was not coming off. So I ended up having to use physical abrasives to scrub it off and get down to some fresh plastic, and now it's looking good. Speaking of plastic, wiper cowl, all the black trim out here was all coated with G-Technic C4, which is they call it a permanent trim restorer. I wouldn't really consider it a restoration product like Solution Finish, but if your plastic is in fairly decent shape or just somewhat faded, it will bring it back pretty well actually too. The trim on this thing was in pretty tough shape when I bought it, and so if it's faded or gray looking, this will make it black, and it's not just a temporary thing like putting a dressing on there either. It will, I mean, the first time around it lasted over 2.5 years. So the way you know if that product is going to help you out or not is if you take like a damp microfiber towel and just wipe it on the plastic, and if it makes it look black and shiny again, that's what C4 is going to do for you, but semi-permanently. If it doesn't make that much of a difference, then you're kind of out of luck. You're going to have to be looking at something more of a dye, like solution finish. Then I gave this headlight here is an original headlight. That one was replaced by the previous owner, so that one is still fairly new. So I ended up having to give this headlight a quick little buff just to make it match the other one, but I really didn't spend a whole lot of time on it. Mainly because I'm still not really sure what I want to do with the headlights on this thing. I've kind of thrown around the idea of doing black housing ones. Thought about doing the aftermarket ones, but I've heard that the projector on them is not anywhere near as good as OEM. I don't want to downgrade function just to change the looks, but I also kind of don't want to permanently paint these just in case I do want to go back, so I'm on the fence still. I'm not really sure what I want to do. If you guys know of any good reputable aftermarket headlight sellers that have decent black housing ones that don't suck, let me know. So I just kind of gave it a quick touch up. I didn't spend a whole lot of time on it to make it look better, but then I of course ceramic coated both of them with crystal serum light just to protect them. It's probably not as good as the original UV coating on headlights, but it's better than just leaving them raw, otherwise they'll be yellow again in a week. And then I just did the windows I just did a paint sealant on the windows, and I didn't use any special products for that, just I really don't see the need to. And that was about it. That's pretty much the entire 4runner detailing series in a nutshell. So if you made it this far, then thanks for watching. And in each one of those videos, I put links to all the products that I was using in each video down in the description for you, just in case you wanted to buy exactly what I was using. I don't want to get into the habit of putting a bunch of affiliate links below every single video trying to sell you guys on crap that you don't need, but whenever it is helpful, I will put some links below of the exact stuff that you're seeing in the video, just to make it easier for you guys to mimic the same thing. But the whole purpose of this series was so that you guys can see that anybody can do this by themselves at home. You don't have to take it to a specialty detailing shop just to get a ceramic coating done or a paint correction. You can do it yourself. You have to buy a few buffers and a few products, but there's no reason that the average Joe can't do this exact process to their own 4runner at home. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you found it helpful. Make sure to leave some feedback down below, but I'll catch you guys on the next one. See ya.
What are you trained to do?